Well, g'day there, this is Lachlan from Kashi. We're coming at you with a little bit of a different video today. As you notice, I'm not in my normal environment, and that's because I have got a brand new ute, which is just behind me. It's really hard to see, but it is a little tiny 2007 Mazda BT50. Just bought this car, and it's given us an opportunity to talk about one of our blog posts from 6 months ago, which was about how to choose the right head unit for your car. Normally I drive a little Fiat, so it's just become important to me again to get a good head unit, because this thing doesn't have CarPlay, and getting around around Brisbane, it's nice to have the maps available for wherever you're going and to have some good tunes. With the head unit, we're going up to Matt Kelly at Auto One. If you haven't seen our videos with him, just check it out. We're also going to do a couple of speakers. That is because while the stereo in this isn't bad, it's not what I'd call good. So some people, when you're a mechanic, sometimes you've got to have a hobby besides cars as well. And I really love listening to music. I'm not the best at listening to it. I also don't have the best sound systems, but that is why I have brought my best friend Santi in. Santi, say hello.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to meet you all.
Now, Santi is a electrical engineer and a complete audiophile, and that might be because he's got a vision impairment. So listening is his favourite sense to get around with. So we're going to have a quick listen, before and after, and we're going to go from there. Alright, so we're inside the Mazda now, and we've got Santi beside us. It's a little bit of a sweatbox in here, but we're about to do a couple of little audio tests. We're going to listen to some of our favourite songs, which we've got lined up on the thing. We like to do this. We go and listen to music and records on a variety of different speakers. So we've got some preset selections that we really love. We're also going to throw some non-copyrighted music in, so you can theoretically listen along with us. But Santi, is there anything that the normal person can look out for when selecting the right speakers for their car?
Absolutely. So, first of all, just remember, sound quality is subjective at the end of the day. What one person's ears deems good, another person's ears might deem not so good. But a couple of things are, if you want to get a stereo system that should theoretically work with everything, just aim to have everything relatively balanced. You don't want too much bass, you don't want too much treble, and you don't want too much mids. You sort of want everything to be relatively equal across the board. That way, when you play different types of music, you don't have to reach for the volume button or reach for the tuning knobs to make it sound okay. Other than that, just know the type of music that you enjoy. Know a couple of songs quite well, so when you go and listen to some speakers, you have a good reference and you know, oh yes, this sounds good, that's a new thing that I'm not hearing, or that sounds completely awful and I don't want to buy these speakers. Other than that, enjoy the music, play it to your heart's content, and we'll get back to you after we have a couple of songs that are copyrighted, and then we'll get some non-copyrighted music going on.
Alright guys, so we've just listened to a couple of our favourite songs to listen to on any stereo, and we've got a couple of notes. Santi, what do you think of the stereo in the ute?
So, Lockie, as you mentioned at the beginning, it's not a bad stereo. If this is what you have and you are happy with it, it does the job just okay. But unfortunately, there are a couple of things missing when you play songs, notes that should be there or that we know are there, given that we enjoy music quite a fair bit and have some decent stereos. They are unfortunately not being reproduced. So it works, but an upgrade is definitely beneficial, and adding to that, if you get a unit with Android and Apple CarPlay, you obviously have the benefit of having maps as well as good sound.
Yeah, so I think from our first impressions, we like to listen to the Hotel California by the Eagles. We also like to listen to the Ultralight Beam by Kanye West. And there's one other one, Fly Me to the Moon, Frank Sinatra. And look, Frank Sinatra sounds pretty good on this stereo. However, when you get some more bass heavy tones into it, it really struggles with like the drum beats. it really struggles to separate the high and the low material, and you end up losing some of the different sounds in the audio that you really want to be there if you love music like we do. So we're going to get off to Matt at Auto One today, and I'm going to come back and see Santi this evening, and we're going to have another listen to it, and we're going to see how it sounds after a bit of an upgrade. So we're down here with Matt from Auto One. We've got a couple of products set up on the ute. We're just talking to Santi before about the next couple of steps on this, but Matt's going to run us through some of the products that we're fitting in, and then we're going to do it all up, go back to Santi and figure it all out.
Cool. So Matt here, Auto One Brands Planes, and we are lucky enough to work on Lachlan's ride and pimp his ride. So I've got some audio gear here. So we're starting off, we've got some splits. These are the DB Drive Speed Series splits, good value for money speaker. And with the tweeter and the woofer, we're going to be able to create a nice sound stage for this car. So they're a good option there. Also, we're using the Sting Up Roadkill fast rings so that we can keep that sound out of the door cavity and into the cabin, direct it the right way. So we've got some gains that way. We've got our source is going to be the Sony XAVAX 8000. I got one of these in my car as well. Nice big screen. So if you like big screens, I believe we're going to hook up a reverse camera to this as well. So you're going to be able to see everything nice and clear with this. So that's good. This bad boy, this is the DB Drive WDX 10-inch subwoofer, active subwoofer under seat. I've got something similar underneath my seat in my car, and you can feel the rumble, so they're a really good thing. This car is got nothing in the way of bass at the moment, so it's just going to add that extra dimension, so that's a really good one to do. Last but not least, we got some bits and pieces, wiring and whatnot, but also we got a DB Drive Neo M2 amp, so a 2-channel amp running those splits. So yeah, nice small packaging. We got the active underseat, all things that are great for utes. It's a single cab ute, not much space to work with, but we're going to fit all this in, and we're going to get some great improvements for Lachlan.
Alright guys, so we're back in the ute. It's been a pretty long day getting the audio sorted in this. We ended up putting some tweeters in the sails on the door pillars. We've also got those nice 6.5 inch woofers in the door cards, and a really nice under seat subwoofer as well. What do you think so far, Matt?
Yeah, awesome. Like you said, like we were talking about before, sounds a lot more fuller. You've got that full range, better highs, much better lows. You actually have lows now, so good result there. Big screen, loving it. I think it's a good upgrade. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The biggest thing for me was the CarPlay, especially being a work ute, getting around everywhere. This has now got a reverse camera that goes on with reverse, which is awesome. It's also got a huge 9-inch screen, and we actually gained a little bit of storage space because this is only a single DIN pocket.
Good point.
And the screen sits out of the dash, so a lot more usable space in the car, somewhere to put your phone or even a pie to warm it up during the day. So, all right, we'll get back to Santi now and see how he thinks, what he thinks of the sound, because he's real picky about these things.
All right, fingers crossed.
So we're back here with Santi. It's been a pretty long day for me, but we've just had a good listen to the stereo, and we're going to cut to Santi and see what you think of it so far, bud.
So overall, good upgrade. It still needs to be tweaked because the tweeters are a bit too harsh, and the sub is just a bit too much for my particular liking. I like things to be very neutral. On saying that, the things that we were not hearing before in the original system, in the songs that we used to test, they're back, and we have a bit of a soundstage which we can appreciate as well, because in a car that's hard to do. And overall it's good, but definitely need to tweak the high end of the sound with the equalizer, because it's a bit too harsh. At the end of the day, just remember that sound is subjective, so if you like it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I to be honest with you, Santi, I quite like a little bit of extra kick, so having that little bit of bass there is not really going to be too much harm for me, but there are some other things that we want to look at down the line, and the songs that we listen to are vastly different. So your tuning will vary as well. So I like a bit of hip hop. I also like a bit of jazz, and some rock music. And Santi, what do you listen to mostly?
I listen to a lot of jazz, classical, salsa, not as much hip hop, and not as much a lot of deep bass stuff. But regardless, the system has been a success, and it's a good upgrade. And you get the bonus of an Apple CarPlay and Android Auto unit.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you a bit later. Thanks again. I'm Lachlan from Kashi, and this is my best mate Santi. And we'll see you once we've done a bit more tuning.